Thank you for showing up for WyoGives 2024. You've made a huge impact on the 381 participating organizations from all corners of the state. Thanks, Wyo.
It's the 5th annual WyoGives Day, July 10th, and we are celebrating Wyoming's 134th birthday. Hi, I'm Kathy Holman, Prairie Wife, and I have been hanging out with all of you, celebrating the amazing people that we have in the state of Wyoming. You have been giving since midnight, and you get to continue to give until midnight tonight. It's 24 hours of giving with all sorts of perks for the 380 organizations that are participating today if you give through WyoGives.org. We are over the $2.5 million mark. I'm really hoping that we can get to that $3 million soon. And then Wyoming, why stop there? Let's just keep on rolling, because every bit that you give can be given right back to you through various programs in your community. If you are just hanging out with us, we've been interviewing different charities throughout the day just to kind of give you a picture of what is going on in the state and all the different sectors that we've been able to help. Earlier today, we talked about housing, we talked about community, we've talked about wildlife and wild spaces. And now we're going to talk a little bit more about building that community, breaking some of those generational cycles. And we have Molly here to help us do that. Molly, how are you doing this afternoon, ma'am?
It's been so fun to watch WyoGives celebration happen throughout the day and across the state. What an exciting day.
Yeah, and we're keeping it rolling till midnight. I want people to know, just because this is our last live segment that we're doing, that does not mean the prize giveaways are done. That doesn't mean we're done donating. We want to keep on going till that last second at midnight. So, Molly, can you talk to me a little bit about what organization in Wyoming you work with and how you help our communities?
Yes, so I'm with Climb Wyoming, and we are a job training and placement program for low-income single moms, and we operate 6 sites across the state of Wyoming. So really impacted across the state. We have sites in Laramie, Casper, Jackson area, Sweetwater, Gillette, and then Cheyenne. And so we're really wanting to support low-income single moms and getting jobs to better support their families.
So what is your specific position? What do you do for Climb Wyoming?
So I'm the Chief Operating Officer, and I'm responsible for the operations of the organization across the state. But my background's in mental health. I don't practice as a mental health provider, but just understand the importance of that, and the importance of that is part of our model for job placement. It's also a really strong mental health component.
So you mentioned that what your specific organization does, and if you go to WyoGives.org, you're going to find a lot of different organizations that team together for this same kind of mission of helping place people in the right work area. But you work with single moms in Wyoming. So talk to me about why specifically single moms in Wyoming need our support, need our help. What are some of the barriers to them being able to find the right job?
Sure. Single moms in Wyoming are the most households in poverty are headed by low-income single mothers. So we see a strong need to help those families to really support their children. And so that's why we exist, and making a big impact on poverty. So as women go through the training program, increase their wages, 2 years post-program, they've doubled or tripled their income, which is significant for their family.
Wow. I mean, that's huge.
Yeah, huge cost savings to the state as well. They're really decreasing their assistance, their public assistance. So we've saved the state of Wyoming over $120 million over 35 years because of that cost savings.
So I know that there are hundreds of families across the state that have benefited from education programs like yours. Can you maybe just share one story that has stuck with you from your time working with Climb Wyoming?
Well, there's thousands of them across the state, which I
Sure.
feel really honored to be a part of. And I think what is most impactful is thinking about moms that might come to Climb with pretty significant barriers. So they might be homeless or have a pretty significant criminal background or have maybe substance abuse has been a problem for them, and come to Climb in a place where they're pretty desperate and in need of a lot of help. And we have a responsibility to really greet them, learn about them, understand who they are. And one of the really cool things about Climb is that women go through in a group. So there's 10 or 12 of them. They're really building community with one another, and they're really able to help shine a light for each other on one another's strengths. So they're really growing their confidence and learning about who they are from one another, and then going off and sharing that with their future employer and also with their future community. So they're really giving back at the end of the program. They're giving back to the communities that really supported them at a rough place in the world.
I love that you emphasize so much that idea of community and togetherness. I think everything is better when we work together, which that is the whole theme of WyoGives. Yes, United Way of Laramie County. We love Climb Wyoming too. See, speaking right there, working together as a community, you're breaking those generational cycles. And not only are these women showing themselves that they can do it, they're showing their children that they can do it. And when you have groups together offering that support, when you're feeling down, they're going to be able to lift each other up. You have someone saying, me too, but we can do this, and then continuing to tell people about it. I love that. So there might be someone watching this, whether it's right now and they're watching us live or later when we share it, and they feel like they're ready to take this step. They are a single mom here in Wyoming. What do they need to do? How can they break that cycle? Who do they reach out to? And maybe even if you have time or if you want to, could you possibly share like what those first few steps of being in the program look like?
Sure. First of all, I would tell anyone that's interested or wants to know more about the program that if you think you're not ready, you're probably ready. So I think there's no right time to be ready, and we're going to help you every step of the way. So one of the things that makes Climb work really well is that we have a lot of community partners. A lot of nonprofits that are being supported today are part of what makes this program work. Also, employer partners. We have a ton of employer partners across the community that really hire Climb graduates that are really great at supporting the Climb program. And so if a mom is interested, I would want her to know that she's not alone. There's a huge community behind her. And our website is a very simple way to learn about what's coming up. So climbwyoming.org has a lot of information about where our locations are, what trainings are coming up. You can call, you can go to the website. There's lots of different, you can reach out on social media. But at least just starting by saying, hey, I would like to talk to somebody. I think that first step can be the hardest and scariest. And or you can come to any of our locations. We have site locations across the state, and we welcome people to drop in and tell us what they have going on and what they might need. And I think it can be really scary, but the good news is it's a group of women going through it together. And so that can also might sound scarier than if you're going at it alone. But the majority of Climb moms would tell you the group's pretty special and pretty important, and a lot more supportive than you might.
So what are some of the jobs that people can get through Climb Wyoming? Are they all trade jobs? Are there, different things depending on what people's interests are in?
So one of the cool things about how we're designed is that we really put our training together based on employers' feedback in the community. So every community across the state is going to be different. We really want to hear from employers. What do they need? What can we put together in a curriculum? The program is short. It's 3 months long. And the training is really defined by what employers need. So it could be in the medical field. It could be in a general office type of field. It could be more non-traditional. So it could be truck driving, welding, We've done some HVAC programs. So it really depends on where the jobs are, because when training's over, we are guaranteeing job placement. It's not an internship or a part-time job. It's a full-time job at the end of the program. And so we really do a lot of work with employers on the front end to determine what type of trainings we put together.
I think I remember hearing someone that had graduated from the Climb Wyoming program that maybe started working at the wastewater treatment plant, and she started working there, and then she ended up being like the manager of the whole entire facility. I don't know if I'm remembering that story right, but I think that's a graduate from your program. And this is the success that we're putting out there for women. Let's find what you're passionate about. Let's get you trained with that. So along those lines, if there's someone that's watching this that maybe not that they want to participate in the program because they're a single mom, but they're a business owner in Wyoming, what do they need to do so that they can help out, so that they can be a part of the good work that you and the other partnership organizations you work with are doing?
Yeah, we would love to hear from them as well. They can also reach out through our website. They can reach out by calling one of the local community sites. We'd love to learn more from businesses, because that's really determining what kind of trainings we're going to run. We need employer partners in the community. When we place moms in jobs, we reimburse the employer for the first 6 weeks of work. That's a really critical time in the job placement. And so we want employers who are interested in learning, willing to be a part of the process, wanting to give back to the community. Our program doesn't work without employer partners. So we would love for them to reach out as well, because they're really helping us build the workforce. And I really appreciate the story you shared, because there are so many graduates that have grown into management positions and then hired more graduates from Climb. I just heard this really cool story the other day from a graduate who had a tricky supervisor situation and did a lovely job kind of navigating, helping and supporting this employee. It was inspiring me as a manager to think about how I operate, because she was just so calm and collected and kind, and really wanting to care for this employee, knowing that she could support an employee in a tough time. Farther down the road, that employee was going to show up and be a really great employee when she was maybe not struggling as much as she was in her work. So I just think the Climb is really impacting generations of not only families, but also of the workforce.
Yeah, it's back to that whole point of WyoGives. We are all connected in Wyoming. We're all one community. Yes, you're going to make things better for that mom, her kids, for that family. But then in the end, that's going to have, in all the best ways, that domino effect of continuing to move on throughout our community and strengthen overall. We have a little bit more time. You mentioned that there's other organizations that you work with. Can you name a couple of them, so that if people really like this mission that you're doing and what you're doing, they can go to wyogives.org and look up all of them?
Sure. Well, I think that because our partnerships are across the state, each local community has so many community partnerships. And I think of organizations that might be providing services for whether it's homelessness, or providing food services or shelter, domestic violence, supporting families that might be struggling from domestic violence, after school programs for children. I think it's hard to name one, because I'm thinking of across the state, so many different community programs really support moms as they go through the Climb program. I did see United Way pop up with a comment. You know, there's different United Way programs that support Climb across the state. So
Great.
Our programs, we really need the support of the local communities in order to help moms as they're going through training, really access a lot of resources. We work really hard to not duplicate services. We don't want to offer services other people are offering, but we need those other people to be offering their services. So as you give to WyoGives, please know that those services are also supporting families that are coming through Climb.
Well, and I was going to ask you just to wrap everything up, and it might just be repeating what you just said, but I think it's a powerful message. Do you mind just letting me know, what does WyoGives mean to you?
WyoGives to me means community. It's building community across the state. It's supporting our communities to then thrive with each other. And just elevating the support that's provided across the state. So I really appreciate all the energy. There's been a lot of fun energy. I'm in Cheyenne, and there's a lot of energy in Cheyenne supporting the campaign, but I can feel it across the state. And it's such a cool effort that helps so many important organizations. Just want to say a big thank you.
Well, Molly, I appreciate you taking time to chat with me, to educate me, and frankly, to inspire me with the things that you're sharing. Remember, if this is something that's important to you, you can go to WyoGives.org, donate until midnight tonight. Molly, thank you so much for your time and your amazing energy this late in the afternoon.
Thank you.
Hi, Chris.
Hi, I'm just making sure we're transitioning smoothly here. We are going to bring
Love
on
it.
momentarily here the lovely team from the Wyoming Nonprofit Network. So, Kathy, you talk for a moment so I can press all the magic buttons and bring their smiling faces on.
I can do that because let's talk about what we've got going up here. This ticker tape.
Special moment here. 10,000 gifts just passed here during our final live stream. 10,000 total gifts. I'm going to hit the applause button. There we go.
Yeah. That's way better than my dance. I don't even know what to call that dance. It's like a sad Hawaiian dance. I don't know. That's why I talk and I don't sing and dance for my career. All right. So this ticker tape right here, we have had over 5,000 individual donors. That means people that have donated today. Wyoming, I'm not trying to be rude, but we can do better than that. Like we can do more than that. There's 500,000 people that live in the state. We can have more than, thank you. Look at, they're listening to me, Chris, as those numbers are rolling. We've had over 10,000 gifts given, and we are over the $2.5 million mark for funds raised. And out of the 380 organizations that are participating in WyoGives, 374 of them have received donations. Live streaming is going to finish after this little session here. We're going to still have our Wyoming Nonprofit Network gals on here to chit chat for a little bit, but that doesn't mean the giving on WyoGives Day needs to stop. It's going until midnight tonight. Let's give until that last moment so we can get those prizes, those tickets, those matching funds for those organizations. Chris, I'm just so excited to wake up tomorrow morning and see what our final tally is. It's going to be phenomenal.
I'm right there with you, Kathy. I got to scream all the way up the square. Do you like this little configuration now? We got teeny
I
tiny.
do. I didn't know if it was just me seeing it or if everyone gets to. I feel like it's like Hollywood squares.
So before Kathy and I sign off, we just wanted to definitely give our big thanks to Jody, Catherine, Tess, and Collier at the Wyoming Nonprofit Network. This has been super cool and a very special opportunity for both of us to be a part of, and just so thankful to you guys for letting us have some fun all day long. This has been really, really cool, Kathy, and we're very, very blessed to get what we do. I'm sure you would echo those sentiments.
Yeah, absolutely. Wyoming is the best place to live. I mean, I know you're not allowed to say that, Chris, but I sure can. And days like today, where we have raised millions of dollars for different organizations across the state, money that's going to stay in Wyoming, helping Wyomingites and their families and our communities, I couldn't be prouder.
I'm right there with you. So I'm going to throw it over to Jody and Tess and Catherine here and get them up on the screen. So that's all from me and Kathy. And Jody, take it away.
Thanks, Chris.
Am
I back? There I am. Okay. Well, I want to thank Kathy and Chris for doing such a fabulous job today. We knew we had put this in very capable hands, and it has definitely met that and surpassed it for myself. And it's just been so fun to watch. And our vision for what this looked like, boy, you guys just really hit it for us. And we're so appreciative. Catherine, Tess, anything you want to add to that?
I shared with Chris and Kathy when I watched the first live, and watching it afterward, I just felt like it was everything and more that we had ever planned for. And I think that watching it come together was such a great blend of all things Wyoming, highlighting all the great nonprofits, all of their work, what they do for Wyoming, what they do for the people in Wyoming. I think it's been amazing. So thank you both for all of your help and all of your work to bring this together.
Yeah, I feel like for us, for our team, I don't want to speak for all of us, but I feel like so much of this is about celebrating with other people, right? Our work is done with other organizations, and this live stream has made that possible. And so I don't know, I'm just really excited. I'm also really excited that it's only 4:30 and we have a lot of giving ahead of us. Yeah, I just feel really, really lucky today.
Yeah, Tess mentioned there's a lot of giving, and I really want to point out and stress that with the mini organizational matches, the prizes that go through the midnight, and the Hughes Incentive Fund, which is structured differently this year, so it boosts donations all day long. So in many cases, your donation will continue to be boosted or matched or win an organization a prize through midnight. So keep it strong, keep it going. Excited to see where we land up. I did want to mention that 2.6 now does not include the 1 million from the Hughes Incentive Fund. So we will add that towards the end of the night. So we'll have a grand total. Couple of announcements. I do have a 2 to 4 p.m. Prize winners. That would be Albany County Sheriff's Search and Rescue and Climb Wyoming. Isn't that funny? They were just fun. Those are randomized drawings by a count calculator, and we pick one that's in a smaller budget category and one in the next budget category. So we try to even it out a little bit on the different sizes of nonprofits. I'm sorry I don't have a 307. I got back from the governor's proclamation and was busy doing a couple of things, but we will definitely post that here shortly on Facebook, as well as continue to post prizes. So stay tuned for the Facebook page. We have a photo from the proclamation and maybe some other fun things we can share. Just want to thank this team. Collier is not with us. She's in class. She's a student at the University of Wyoming taking a summer class. So she may be in the middle of her presentation. I'm not sure. But she's still with us, but she is in class right now. But Tess and Collier, or Catherine, thank you so much for your work and just the learning curve you went through in a very short time. You rocked it out of the park. So really appreciate that. And I also want to shout out to the Wyoming Nonprofit Network board. I always say they're the best board that any organization can ask for. So a big shout out to them.
All right. That's about it. Thank you guys for watching. And good night.